So today we have MCU Captain America taking on Master Chief from the Halo series on Paramount Plus. Who wins? Let's find out. So, as always, let's talk about strength. Well, Steve easily lifted a motorcycle with 3 women on it, easily threw another motorcycle with enough force to destroy an armored vehicle, sent people flying with enough force to move cars and bend metal, ripped a log in half with his bare hands, kept a helicopter from taking off, lifted a support beam weighing several tons while already injured, overpowered Spider Man, matched Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, Iron Man, and Ultron, and even staggered Loki and Thanos with his strikes. But John 117, the Master Chief, was stated to be significantly stronger than the average human and to have outdone every other Spartan physically. He casually moved a parked forklift holding several metal boxes out of the way with just his hands. Actually, moved it with just one hand first. Um, he's matched and killed Covenant soldiers and even beat one to death with only a few punches. He was able to somewhat fight against 2 other Spartans without being in his armor while they were in theirs. He was even able to steer a banshee while hanging on underneath of it while it was speeding. By the way, it was going very fast. Uh, we can also scale him off the other Spartans, and Kai 125 in particular was able to lift a warhog with several people in it completely off the ground. I'd say they're fairly even here. Next up, we have durability. Captain America has easily kept on fighting after hits/blasts from Chitauri aliens, Loki, Iron Man, Ultron, Rumlow in his mech suit, and even Thanos. He's gotten back up after a massive fall and a point blank explosion that sent him flying out of a big building. He was so tough, in fact, that in one scene, he survived being stabbed in the leg, shot 4 different times, a beating from Winter Soldier's bionic arm, and a several 100-foot drop. Yeah, he's very tough. There's also the fact that he did survive being frozen for nearly 70 years. But Master Chief's Mjolnir armor comes with an energy shield that has to be depleted before he can even be hurt, and it also recharges rather quickly as long as he isn't taking damage. He landed on his feet after falling like 1,000 feet. Like easy. Like he jumped out of the pelican and he just landed on his feet after like 1,000 foot drop. Like it was nothing. Um he didn't flinch when a tip of a knife pierced into his back to remove that chip. He kept on fighting after hits from Covenant soldiers and brutes, hits from 2 Spartans while not in his armor, and being sent flying through a stone structure. And scaling them off the other Spartans, one of them survived being blasted several times, followed by a point blank explosion, and another one survived a sticky bomb explosion while the sticky bomb was stuck to her armor. Um, Chief was also able to walk away after crashing a Banshee into a Mother Covenant ship at high speeds, causing a massive explosion. Yeah, Chief is more durable here because of his armor and his energy shield. And now moving on to speed. It was stated that Spartans are much faster than the average human. Chief specifically easily outmaneuvered Covenant soldiers, even multiples at a time that were all attacking him, dodged bullets and blaster fire, and he jumped onto a speeding Banshee as it flew by, going very fast. Also, 2 Spartans were able to easily keep pace with a speeding Warthog, and Spartan Kai was able to catch up to a jet as it was taking off. But Captain America easily kept pace with Black Panther, Winter Soldier, and outpaced cars. He also easily dodged or blocked bullets and energy blasts, even at point blank range. He also just fought at a very fast pace and was very acrobatic while fighting. I'd say they're pretty even here. Um, Cap might have an agility edge, but that's about it. So physically, Chief is better overall, but only because of his armor makes him tougher. And now moving on to fighting skill. Well, Chief was extensively trained as a Spartan for over 20 years in close quarters combat, martial arts, combat techniques, and marksmanship. He's an expert with all firearms and can effectively use basically any gun while in close quarters combat, and his combat prowess is simply unmatched. He was able to easily beat and kill Covenant soldiers, fight against 3 Covenant brutes simultaneously, and hold his own against 2 Spartans without his armor long enough for Kai to intervene. Cortana also helps him out greatly in a fight, but we'll get back to that later. He's been regarded as the best Spartan to have ever lived by several people, and is a symbol to the UNSC because of it. But Cap was the best fighter in the MCU, with his fighting style combining his physicality, martial arts, and his shield to great effect. And he just fights at a very fast and frenzied pace. He's beaten several Hydra agents while in a cramped elevator. Crossbones, Iron Man, Spider Man, War Machine, Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, Red Skull, Black Panther, his past life, like his past self, and matched or bested Winter Soldier. He's held his own with physically more powerful foes, like Ultron and Loki as well. He was so good that he quickly adapted his fighting style to perfectly incorporate Mjolnir. He also has experience fighting against someone who's great at using guns in close quarters combat, and Winter Soldier. Yeah, I'd say Cap is better here, but Chief will be able to hold his own for sure. Now moving on to weapons. We all know about Cap's shield. It's virtually indestructible, and it plays a big part in his fighting style. He's a master at ricocheting it off one or multiple surfaces to hit foes from behind or the side, catch them off guard. Uh, Chief typically just carries his MA5 series assault rifle, which he has great accuracy with, as well as maybe like his Magnum. And he even has great accuracy while jumping over his enemies. But by far his greatest weapon is Cortana, a highly advanced AI that helps him out greatly while in a fight or in any situation, really. She keeps him informed on his shield, his armor, health, and ammo, as well as helping him tactically, like when he was fighting Spartan Vanek, and she told him that only 2 more shots would deplete his shields. She can also pinpoint enemies accurately, analyze how many enemies there are, analyze weapons on enemies, and can even take over Chief's body and become an unstoppable soldier. So, who wins? Well, Chief's armor and energy shield makes him tougher, and he has Cortana, which really acts as a second pair of eyes for him. Cap is the better fighter, with experience of fighting against Chief's fighting style, and with a nearly indestructible weapon that he uses in perfect flow with his style of fighting. This is also a weapon Chief has never fought against before, and will be thrown off by it when he starts throwing it around. Chief's biggest problem is Cap's shield. Steve's biggest problem is doing enough damage to completely deplete his energy shield to actually hurt him. But you see, that's where Cortana comes into play. Right at the start, she'll analyze Cap and his shield, and then tell John that it's basically unbreakable and that he has no way of getting through it. His guns can't get through it, and he can't punch his way through it. So he'll have to disarm Cap. Steve has no way to counter Cortana, and I'm sure Chief could and would eventually accomplish disarming him if Cap doesn't do it for him by throwing it. Uh, from then on, Cap's greatest hand-to-hand skill, a greater hand-to-hand skill, keeps him in the fight for a good long while. But with Chief's shield capable of recharging and with Cortana on his side, I can't bet against John here. Surprisingly enough, I'm going to say Master Chief wins after a great fight. I mean, a really good, great fight. Master Chief wins. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Leave a comment of what you think and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos and all the great stuff. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.